Extrinsic motivation means I am doing something where there's some kind of reward or something at the end where that is the reward for my work. Intrinsic motivation is where the activity itself is the reward. So in other words, if I'm extrinsically motivated about studying, I would be studying because I want to get good grades, because I want to get into a good college, I want to get into a good medical school, I want to get into a good residency, right? I would be doing it so that I can have something external. Intrinsic motivation means I am studying because studying itself is the reward. Not because of the grades. I mean, the grades can be nice, but I actually enjoy and look forward to studying. Now, for decades of research, what do you think it is shown? Who do you think does better and enjoys their life more? People that are extrinsically motivated or people that are intrinsically motivated? If you guessed intrinsically motivated, you are 100% correct. If I love what it is that I'm doing, if I love studying, I will study more. If I love studying and I want to do it more, then of course I'm going to be more successful. And being successful in and of itself is honestly pretty fun. And so the question is how can we become more intrinsically motivated during our comeback process? Now, intrinsic motivation, after decades of research, they found that it basically boils down to three things. The first is choice, the second is meaning, and the third is competence. So let's talk about choice. When I'm studying, I oftentimes will give myself a choice about how it is that I study. Not necessarily when that I study, right? Because you gotta maintain, ideally you have a routine. In medical school, for example, sometimes I would study in my apartment. Other times I would say, okay, you know what, I gotta mix it up. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna study in one of the empty buildings on the weekend, right? Because no one was working on the weekends and in the research building, so I would just go to one of those buildings that I had access to. Or sometimes I'd be like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to the student union, whatever it is. Actually, two of my favorite places to study in medical school were, one of them was the IKEA food court because there was no internet at the time. Now IKEA has internet, but in East Palo Alto, the IKEA there had no internet at the time when I was a medical student. And so I would go there and I would just have no distractions. I could just focus. The other was actually, oddly enough, it was actually McDonald's. Just because it was kind of grounding. Like living in Palo Alto, it's kind of like this bubble, but going to McDonald's, there was a much larger cross section of, I think, society. And so it was kind of grounding for me to go there. So, but I would give myself a choice. The second is meaning. And so just like I told myself, you know what, this is going to be the fuel that will allow me to help other people in the future. Whatever it is that you're doing, you want to ask yourself, how can I give this meaning? What's the purpose behind this? In the Marines, which is one of the most dangerous, one of the most, taxing, one of the most difficult jobs in the world, it actually has one of the highest job satisfactions of any job in the world. It's like the opposite of working for, like big tech in the heyday. One of the things that they would do is that they would ask each other during difficult things, what is it, or why is it that you're doing this? Like, why is it that you're waking up so early? Why is it that you are following the drill sergeant's instructions? And what they would do is they wouldn't say the superficial answer. They wouldn't say, oh, well, I'm doing this because that's just what we're doing, or this is what they told me to do. They would say their deeper purpose, which was, I'm doing this because I want to give my family a better life than I had growing up. Or they would say something like, I'm doing this because I want to be a role model for my son, or I want to be a role model for my daughter. And so whatever it is that you're doing, ask yourself, if you want to have that intrinsic motivation for your academic comeback, you want to ask yourself, why am I doing this? What is the deeper reason behind it? And then the third thing is competence. So competence means the better I get at something, the more it is that I will like doing it. And so one trick that I have found is that if you feel really overwhelmed by a huge amount of material, right, in medical school, oftentimes on these exams that people are failing, oftentimes on these exams, it'll be 2 years worth of material. It'll be 3 years worth of material. And some students are stuck in the bottom 1%, and they want to get to the top 10%, right? Massive, massive changes. And it feels like, oh my gosh, so daunting and so difficult. Instead of thinking, okay, how am I going to get through all 3 years worth of material? Just break it down into the smallest chunk you can make it. And so I tell them, just learn one topic. Because if you want to get 80% on everything, just start and get 80% on one thing. Because once you see yourself get that 80% on one thing, And especially if you have a system for remembering it, especially if you have a system for actually using that information like we talked about earlier. Once you have that, it becomes infinitely easier for you to motivate yourself. Because to go from 40% to 80% on an entire, 3 years worth of material, that's going to take a really long time, right? But to go from 40% to 80% or 90% on just one topic, that ideally should only take you a day. And so that's how it is that you can really build that intrinsic motivation so that you love studying, you love working, you love the grind on your way to your greatest academic comeback. Again, choice, meaning, and competence. If you're a medical student or a doctor preparing for either the USMLEs or COMLEX or one of your medical board exams, then be sure to sign up for our free 14-step program where we'll walk you through the most efficient ways for you to improve your score in a short period of time. And if you're interested in getting there faster, be sure to book a free call with our team where we'll break down what it is that's holding you back and, if it makes sense, explain how it is that we can help you to get there more efficiently.